the agenda today, we wanted to provide an overview and introduction into a suite of solutions that ResultsPositive has around mobile, as well as HP's set of tools to assist organizations to address their mobile needs and concerns. So in terms of the agenda, we want to first talk about an overview of why enterprise apps and provide a brief overview from our perspective on the mobile application lifecycle. Then we wanted to talk about the various components of that lifecycle, first starting off with the mobile application development and how you can use various tools to assist with bringing your own device and access controls. Next, we want to talk about mobile application functional and performance testing, followed by mobile transaction and application monitoring, and then have a roundtable discussion on questions and answers so we can understand what you're experiencing internally with your mobile initiatives and how we can collaborate together for an optimum outcome. So thanks again for joining, and I'll be walking you through these topics here as we go forward. First, before I do that, just wanted to provide a brief introduction to those of you that aren't familiar with ResultsPositive. We are a platinum partner with HP, and we specialize in these 6 different areas here and helping customers really achieve their desired business outcomes and positive results. And one thing that's really important for us is making sure that we're helping our customers make a difference by helping them achieve their organizational goals as well as their personal goals. And we do that by focusing in and providing innovative solutions around project portfolio management and service management systems, as well as application lifecycle management. So that can be anywhere from overall quality management, test management, all the way through to performance and stress testing. And then also assisting customers for business service management as it relates to infrastructure monitoring, as well as application and business transaction monitoring. And then in terms of cloud, we're really focusing in on helping organizations put together their own private cloud, as well as hybrid cloud, and also focusing in on overall IT process automation and compliance. And we'll be talking today about mobile, but that's a key area for us. It's an area where we're actually doing mobile app development and design, as well as all the associated lifecycle functions, which we'll be highlighting today. And then last but not least is big data. So a lot of us are experiencing the need for how do I make better decisions based upon all the data that's being collected today across various sensors, across all the different web streams that are occurring from all the different online transactions, as well as the digital age that we're in, being able to take all that data, make sense of it, and make quick decisions. And then lastly here to highlight our ability to be successful with our customers as well as with our business partners is highlighted here by our various awards that we've received over the last 4 years. So thanks again for your time today. If you have any questions about ResultsPositive and our team and how we can help, feel free to follow up on our website or reach out to our sales team. So I wanted to start off first here, why mobile lifecycle management? Why is it so critical in organizations today? And from a journey perspective, I've typically seen, and we've all seen, a lot of mobile apps to consumers. And so that's kind of been the initial focus. We've seen that on the multiple app stores in the marketplace. But now we're starting to see the opportunity for enterprises are starting to look at how can we apply mobile most effectively in our internal environment to increase the overall productivity of our organization and overall outcomes. So a couple things here that you're highlighting here is around mobile. There's much more expectations and requirements around the quality and the speed and just the wow factor associated with mobile applications. And so because they have these high expectations, it's so critical to make sure that the customer has a delightful experience and kind of wowed with the actual experience with the mobile app. And so that's really critical in terms of the design function and the development tools that you would use. Next, it's obviously really important to do it very quickly, but it's also important to make sure that the mobile application performs very quickly in terms of performance. So the 2 key areas that we see that helps with adoption of mobile apps One is all about the experience of that app. So how does it wow a customer and how easy is it to use? And the second one is performance. So if either one of those particular areas are not addressed effectively, then the users will move on to a different particular app, or they will definitely provide some negative feedback to the internal organization for an enterprise app, or they'll do that for a consumer app. So from our perspective, that's why it's so important to make sure we focus on mobile lifecycle management. So just to kind of provide a quick overview of the lifecycle, we all know that we typically start off in the area for designing and building an application. So nothing really new here, but here again, right, we need to really focus on a great design for great customer experience. And next, we need to make sure we're focusing on that performance. We need to make sure that function properly, so we have high quality, but we also then need to make sure that we've got great performance. And that performance is focused on the native app itself, the server associated with that app, as well as make sure we've got great performance over the carrier that particular app might be communicating over. And as well as we need to make sure that it's secure. That's more and more important and always will be important from a security perspective. Next, we need to look at the distributing of those apps. So we could look at the traditional distribution method of releases, but here we're going to try to focus more on the ability to actually support BYOD and to be able to easily distribute those apps on a device in a very controlled fashion, so that also then we can make sure we monitor overall access and control to those apps, as well as being able to control the distribution of those apps on various users. Specifically in the enterprise space, it'll be internal company devices, as well as a lot of bring your own devices. And then last but not least, a lot of individuals forget about the whole idea that the app just isn't resident on your device. Yes, there are some apps that are device specific, but there are many apps that still rely on a typical back-end server, just like, say, your web applications. So from one high-level view, this is kind of the entire mobile life cycle. And what I wanted to do next is to kind of highlight how HP has end-to-end products to support this life cycle. And we've typically found this being eye-opening for customers, that they didn't realize that HP has such a suite of tools to assist in their mobile initiatives. So from a design and build perspective, like we said, this is a critical function, and typically what we're seeing is people are building mobile apps. They are doing it in an agile fashion and adapting Agile. So HP's Agile Manager, a great solution that you can tap into and do those iterative sprints and building those mobile apps. And as well as being able to build those apps, you need to be able to understand the requirements, you need to be able to do the testing, and that's where HP Agile Manager tied into ALM provides you that seamless integration so that your development team can get access to what they need to work on in Agile Manager, and then the testing team via HP ALM. And then a key differentiator for HP here is their enterprise mobile app development platform called HP Anywhere. And so this is an HTML5 platform, allows you to use the common tools that you'd use for development, such as your Eclipse IDE. So developers will be very familiar with it, so they can quickly build HTML5 apps that can be supported across any different platform. So this way you can run those apps on your iOS device, your Apple device, or you can run those apps on a Droid device. And so it really provides you with build it once and then use it across multiple devices. Then from a testing perspective, we talked earlier about how important quality is, as well as how important performance is. And as those of you that are probably aware with HP's tools in the testing space, they've been the leader in that space and continue to be so. What they have in terms of the functional testing is taking that unified functional testing platform and tying it in with mobile testing on the actual device. And so that's a great solution for customers where they can test the functional side as well as the mobile device and how things function on the device. Next, your performance testing using the leading performance testing tools, Load Runner and Performance Center. Also, from a security perspective, we all know that's vitally important, and that's with HP's Fortify solution. So that's a great solution to make sure that you're building in security into your app so that the data that a consumer is using or an employee is using is secure and won't be able to be distributed outside of that particular app. And then also in terms of performance is the ability to really look at a network and integration testing. And HP has a great solution called Service Virtualization. It really helps that Agile mobile app development approach where you can simulate the integrations with a back-end system or a peer system and be able to test that as you're going through the iterative process versus taking the time and effort to schedule those individual physical integration tests, as well as being able to test the performance of the app across the carrier and across the associated network. In terms of distribution, the first thing I'd like to focus on in terms of distribution is BYOD and access controls. So this is where HP Anywhere fits in, a key differentiator. With the HP Anywhere platform, not only does it allow you to develop apps, it also allows you to be able to easily manage the distribution of those apps, and it is distributed via container. So you can have 10 or 15 different apps by role in the organization, and that can be in just one container on their mobile device. So I don't need to manage 10 different apps. I'm just managing one app on that device. And that way I can also control the access to it as well as then bring it back off that device when that individual leaves the organization. So it's a key differentiator is the ability to really support BYOD and access controls. And then also you can tap into HP's other automation solutions here to really provision and automate the provisioning of your back end of your mobile device. So the back end servers, the databases, as well as the application layer. And so you can automate that function. And then from the monitor and measure perspective, I alluded to it earlier, where you can tap into and really manage and monitor the performance of that server. But also now HP's got some great technology now to be able to actually manage the business transaction on the mobile app and be able to track and monitor the actual performance the customer is experiencing while using the app on a day-to-day basis. And then last but not least is taking all the different transactions that are occurring in your app and rolling up into the Vertica Big Data Analytics platform. So as you can see here, there's a significant set of tools that can assist organizations based on where they need assistance in terms of their mobile initiatives and their mobile development efforts. So I look forward to now providing you with a brief overview of these various solutions. First, I wanted to highlight briefly here on HP Anywhere. As I mentioned earlier, this is a mobile development platform. Your developers can use their IDE, such as Eclipse, that they're used to, and they can then build these HTML5 applications, and those applications then can be distributed across multiple different platforms. As well as we mentioned before, it's a great way to control the overall BYOD and access and distribution out to the actual devices. And I'll highlight that here a little bit further. In addition to just a platform to build, there's a lot of really nice built-in social and collaboration capabilities. So that way you can actually, while you're on your enterprise app and not having to go to a different app, I can communicate with individuals in the organization based on what I'm experiencing or what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. So that really helps improve overall productivity. Next, I just kind of wanted to highlight here how the HP Anywhere platform supports the different roles in your organization. So we've kind of been focusing on how the employee would have one place to go to get access to the apps that are important for them to do their job function. So role-based distribution of apps, supporting BYOD, and providing that access control. Talked a little bit about the developers. So they would be able to have that development platform, as you can see here, use the various tools that are common tools, and then be able to tap into the core platform capabilities like collaboration. And then obviously there's the administrator, and you can actually then manage and control access and connectivity with the anywhere users using the server. One thing I'd also highlight coming out soon is HP Anywhere on SaaS. So you don't actually have to have the server on-premise. You could actually choose to use the platform in the cloud. Next, I wanted to highlight some of the solutions that ResultsPositive has been able to develop here using the HP Anywhere platform. As you can see over here, there's 4 different products that we've been able to deliver to customers and actually develop on the Anywhere platform. First of all, we've created a Service Nomad app. This is a service management app. Its ability to have one central place for all of your help desk technicians when they are on the road to be able to get access to all their different requests from multiple different service desks. So it's meant to be their ongoing portal of tasks that they need to work on. Out of the box here, we set up the Service Nomad that's integrated with HP Service Anywhere, as well as with ServiceNow. So we understand that customers have multiple service desks, so this is a great solution to mobilize your service support team. The next couple of applications are apps that we built in conjunction with HP for various functions. One key use case we're seeing for enterprise apps is giving an app for sales teams to help them to be more productive and give them access to the information they need to answer customer questions. And so we built the HP Sales Anywhere app as a way to give reps quick access to information that they would need around various products. Next, we've created an app here where HP sales teams can actually search for their selected partner in their area based upon their area of expertise. And then last but not least, and this is an app that we see that more and more organizations will be using, it's an event app. In this particular example, we created this app for the Vertica Big Data Conference. But this particular app and platform is what we're using for other customers so they can easily put together a corporate event and have a mobile app to increase the productivity of everyone attending the event so they can understand the various sessions that they should attend, where they're located, etc. So this kind of highlights some of the apps we've been able to create. And also, as you see here, we're assisting customers providing a lot of different mobile services, whether it be mobile app development, the functional, as well as the performance testing. And so we can assist you in your efforts in those areas. Next, I want to talk a little about Agile Manager. As I mentioned before, and we're experiencing this all the time with customers, as they're having their various mobile projects, it's all about speed to getting that particular app to the marketplace, and then being able to iterate that app over time. And so everyone's adopting, or most organizations are adopting the Agile framework, and how do I quickly do those iterations and release that new functionality of my mobile app. And so HP's Agile Manager is a great solution that supports multiple different Agile methodologies from a Scrum perspective, a Kanban perspective, and even a hybrid for organizations that are doing both methods across their organization. So it's a great solution to tap into. In addition to just normal managing your daily stand-ups and managing your pipeline and managing your overall completion, as you can see here in the background, I can also manage all the build activities and monitor what's being developed because the solution ties into all your different development tools. So if I'm using Visual Source Safe or I'm using Eclipse, I can actually have all of my user stories come into those IDEs and just work in my IDE if I'm a developer. But I can also tie this into your software version control tools or your deployment tools, such as Jenkins or Subversion, and then I can have that reporting back here in the overall dashboard page associated with Agile Manager. So not only does it help you build apps quicker by applying the Agile approach, but it also helps you get visibility into the overall build activities, thereby reducing the amount of overhead for visibility and reporting of those build activities. Next, I wanted to go and talk a little bit about functional testing. So many of you that may have had experience with HP in the past, they had Quick Test Professional, and now it is called a Unified Functional Testing. So this is the way you can automate your testing. So what's nice sometimes in the mobile app is there are going to be certain screens and certain functions that will remain consistent, so you can automate those areas. Now it's also nice, say if you have a non-native app, such as an HTML5 app, you can use the HP UFT to actually automate those tests. And you can even automate those tests on the device. So if we wanted to look at a brief overview of the different functions that you would want to use on a native mobile app, you'd want to use HP UFT Mobile, because HP UFT can help you test that app, assuming it's non-platform specific, such as using HTML5. However, if you're going to do a native app, you'll want to use UFT Mobile, because then you want to test the specific functions happening on that device and using the specific device capabilities. And so this way, the UFT Mobile is a plug-in into UFT, and it allows you then to get access to a public cloud or private cloud of dedicated devices, so then you can perform that testing on a real live functioning mobile device. So here you can see how that is working and how that plug-in just plugs right into the Unified Functional Testing solution, and then you'll be able to kind of control and set up those automated tests. So from a complete perspective here of testing your overall mobile, we talked up front about testing the functional side as well as then testing the performance side. So starting over here with ALM, that's where everything would be pulled in from Agile Manager. So ALM would then know what we need to do from a testing perspective. And we can also then use BBT to help streamline our overall functional tests. That's by really focusing on the business process. Then we can use UFT to do all of those automated functional tests that don't require the native device-specific testing. Then we'd throw in the overall plug-in for UFT Mobile, and that way we can do the functional test on those real devices. And then as we're testing these apps, as I mentioned earlier, we want to test the integration, so I can use service virtualization to automatically test those back-end integrations without having to get all those environments up and running. And then I can also use Load Runner Performance Center to do my load and stress testing on the specific device. And then last but not least, I can really test the network and what it would look like in terms of performance across a 3G or 4G network. So you can see here the full complete testing solution here that you can get by tapping into the HP products. And this will really assist in those two key areas we talked about before, making sure that you have a solution that's easy to use and high quality, as well as one that functions very well in terms of performance. Next, I'd like to talk a little bit about security. So we all know security is vitally important in today's environment, especially with some of the recent hacks that have been occurring with retail organizations, etc. So one thing that's really important when we're building our mobile app is to make sure that we build security into that app, as well as when we want to test the secure nature of that app before we actually release it. So HP Fortify is a leading solution around being able to test and actually validate that your app is secure as you're going through the development process, as well as being able to verify that before it's released. So HP Fortify On Demand is a core industry-leading solution that can assist you in that space. Next, we talked a little about the need for automated provisioning of your back-end environments associated with your mobile devices. So whether it be the back-end provisioning of your servers, your databases, or whether it be the integration of those items. And so here is where you can tap into HP's Cloud Automation Suite to automate the provisioning of those servers, those databases, and those applications. Here again, helping you streamline and increase that speed to market for your mobile apps. Next, I want to talk briefly about monitoring. So not only is it important for us to test on the front end to make sure we have good performance, but we want to be testing on the back end to validate that performance, but we also want to be testing the transaction performance to see if there's really what's going on from a day-to-day perspective, so we have an idea on new things we need to focus in on. So I wanted to highlight a few different areas and solutions that HP has available. So here we're looking at HP Real User Monitoring. So this is kind of doing that from the back end on the server side. So this is using some of the HP's core products in the business service management arena. Next, we can look at the synthetic monitoring. So we can, and here again, this is really looking at the back end again and bringing that information here into BSM. So next, we want to look at the diagnostics. We want to understand the layers of the server and understand where those performance issues might be occurring on the back end. And so this gives you that deep dive capability using HP Diagnostics. And then HP's got some of the reporting tools here when it comes to infrastructure monitoring as well as your application performance monitoring, such as Service Health Analyzer. And so this gives you a prediction of when you might have app performance issues coming in the future. And then last but not least, HP's got a great SaaS-based solution called HP Performance Anywhere that can tie it up and have various points of presence across the globe and be able to track and monitor overall performance of the various mobile applications. Next, I wanted to highlight a new solution that's just been released, and this is real user monitoring for mobile apps. So this is actually monitoring the transaction on the mobile app versus monitoring the actual performance on the back end on the server side. So as you can see here, it's very easy to set up. I can instrument this in a number of minutes and set that up to be able to start really reviewing transaction response times, et cetera, across the network. In terms of what this particular solution is, it's set up with a JDK, so I can actually, when I'm developing my app, I include that JDK wrapper in just a couple of minutes, set that up around my app, and identify what are the 5 transactions that someone's occurring on that particular app. And then by doing that, then I've got this type of reporting available to me. I can see my different transactions, and I can see the overall response times and performance of those transactions. Next, there's also a mobile app on HP Anywhere for customers that are using HP Anywhere to really help them manage and monitor their internal operations. There's also a mobile app here to be able to get access to that mobile performance when you're on the go using HP Anywhere and the mobile RUM app. So in summary, as we've been talking here, there is a complete life cycle for mobile, and ResultsPositive is positioned to assist you in that, anywhere from upfront design and app development through functional testing, performance testing, as well as the mobile application monitoring. And as I mentioned before, we have various different mobile apps that we've created and ones that we can use as starter kits for you in building in your own internal enterprise apps. Our Service Nomad app is getting a lot of traction for those that are focusing in on service management. So anyone's looking for a portal app for your service desk agent to pull that information in from a third-party help desk, definitely follow up with us here, and you can actually purchase that app there on our web store. Also, HP Anywhere, as well as Agile Manager are available for free trials. So feel free to use the link here to get access to a free trial of HP Agile Manager.